Blessings BookTube. I'm here with a book review of a supposed sci-fi mystery called Frameshift. This is by an author named Robert J. Sawyer, who's a 95 Nebula Award winner for something called Terminal Experiment. So I had high hopes. I bought it because I couldn't decide if I wanted a mystery or a sci-fi for my genre read, and this was both, so it said, and it is not as advertised. You might think that if I told you that our hero was a Nobel level geneticist genius with a clairaudient wife who can read minds and a daughter who's a genetic anomaly or a genetic miracle, you would think that this could be a really interesting sort of superhero family saga. Unfortunately, what you have is a pretty by the numbers thriller with Nazi bad guys. The culminating scene of the baddie escaping in a helicopter from the top of the building of his evil lair. The clairaudient character is sort of a side thought, not receiving very much to do in the book. You would think that she would be able to solve any mystery pretty quickly, and she would have, which is why she was sort of kept out of it. And our hero is kept in the limelight pretty much throughout the entire book, including the culminating scene, by which point his genetic disease, which includes mental, nervous, and muscular degeneration, has reduced him to a person needing pretty significant care, and yet we're supposed to believe he runs up to the roof of the insurance building there to save the day. Now, I will say, let's see, what can I say? I'm trying to think of something positive to say about the book. If you are into science, there is a lot, including sort of diagrams and all kinds of details about genetics in here, specifically about the chains and how they mutate through generations. That was, in my view, not very interesting, at least in that level of detail. There are a few tender moments between the hero and his wife, and especially with their Neanderthal daughter. Unfortunately, the red herring was pretty obviously not the guilty party, and the guilty party wasn't even introduced to us until the really pretty much the same scene in which the red herring was exonerated very near the end of the book. So there's no real fair mystery story here at all. The action isn't very interesting either. So as a thriller, I don't think it works very well. The sci-fi, well, as I said, they never try to explain anything really about how the wife's reading mind works until the very, very end. And that's sort of just slapdash pseudoscience. And then what else can we say? If I asked you to predict what vehicle you could stop with a spanner, basically, a spanner in the works, throwing a crowbar into it, you might think of a bicycle, maybe a giant tandem, or what do they call it, a penny farthing, one of the giant wheels, or something of that nature. There aren't, I think, many vehicles that could be stopped with that, unless you had really an incredible super aim, which you probably don't have if your hands have incredible shaking. So unfortunately, I cannot recommend Frameshift. I am sorry for the spoilers. Sorry, not sorry, because it was, when insurance is talked about as much as it is in this book, it's going to be pretty obvious that all the people getting murdered who have genetic diseases, it's going to be pretty obvious who the baddie is. So there you go. Without telling you, I think I've told you, but you would have known if you'd read 2 chapters of this book probably. So there you go. Sorry, Frameshift. Maybe Terminal Experiment is a good book, but I probably won't be trying Robert Sawyer again. Sorry to bring you a bad review. As you know, I don't like to do many, and I do very few. I'm pretty good at picking books that I will like, but there you have it. This one got by me. The only reason I read it to the end is because it was so predictable. I could practically scan it, and there's nothing really taxing about the prose. It's you can read it in an hour or 2, which I did, and that was an hour or 2 wasted in my life. But that's all right. They can't all be winners. Thank you.